You've tried everything for the pain. Rest, meds, even mindset. But what if your body isn't broken? What if that pain you're feeling is your body trying to protect you, giving you a message? In today's video, I'd like to share with you something that truly changed my life. It's actually not one thing. I'm sharing it with you in hopes that it can do that at least, maybe even more, or whatever it is that you desire. I share it with you for you to be able to experience the feeling of getting healthier, the feeling of getting better, the feeling of being closer to the person we thought we had to say goodbye to, literally. What I want to share with you today is there's so much emotional power behind chronic pain. We're talking about the truth that lies beneath the surface. And don't worry, because you know I'm going to walk you through this gently in sections. We're going to start with a question, which is always a good way to start. What is TMS and emotional pain? TMS and emotional pain. Tension myositis syndrome. Although I have heard it called too much stress, too much shit, too much stuff, and several others. I'm sure you'll hear other ones too. But that's what its true name is originally, by Dr. Sarno. You might have heard of Dr. Sarno already. He wrote Healing Back Pain. I know a lot of times you've asked me how I've gotten better, how I live with some of my symptoms, and I would like to take this opportunity to kind of share some of the major points, a lot of which I feel you might find really helpful with the chronic pain that you've been having. He uses this term to describe chronic pain that's not caused by an injury or any kind of structural damage, but rather from repressed emotions your brain is trying to keep hidden. So let me repeat one more time. Your body is not broken. Now, I'm not saying the pain is not real. I know the pain is very real. It can actually often be your brain creating physical sensations to distract our mind, kind of like a protective measure. So it'll actually create physical symptoms as a distraction from emotional overwhelm. So basically, your mind is trying to protect you. It thinks you're not ready to face something emotional. So it diverts your attention to your body. This happens through our autonomic nervous system, which controls things like our blood flow and muscle tension. And here's where repressed emotions come in. Sometimes we don't even remember what we've been through, especially if it happened when we were very young, or it felt too painful to be able to even process it at the time. So we naturally stuffed it down. So our brain hides those memories away, not to deceive us, but to protect us. However, just because a memory is not conscious, it can still be active. That old hurt still lives in our body, be heard, and finally healed. Our next section is Section 2. What does it mean, actually, to repress our emotions? What exactly does this entail? Well, I'm going to tell you. So get ready. To repress means to push down a memory so far that you forget it's even there. When we repress a memory, we push it down so far until we forget it's even there. It usually starts at childhood. Maybe you were taught it's not okay to be angry, or that needing attention was selfish, or that sadness made you weak. Instead of feeling these emotions, we pushed them away. But here's the thing. We push them away, but they don't just disappear. They just went underground into our unconscious. And now, as an adult, your body is carrying them around for you. What a system. Mine are carrying mine around for me too. I bet you there's almost everybody that's carrying around something. So this is how our mind works to protect us. However, eventually that protection can start to feel like a prison. Repressed emotions, they don't just disappear because we push them away. They get stored in our body. Over time, they start to present themselves as fatigue or physical pain or chronic illness. So learning to safely reconnect with these emotions isn't weakness, it's healing. My story with pain and emotional roots. This is the third section. I hope it's helping you so far. My journey with pain started quite early. My parents' marriage crumbled when I was young. Custody battles. My siblings and I were split between homes. I felt lost and I was scared as shit a lot of times. Only I didn't have the words back then to describe what I was feeling or what I wanted to ask. I didn't want to be a burden and add to the chaos. I was worried about my parents. I learned how to hide a lot of my feelings. Like so many of us, I just stuffed those big feelings down all the time, daily, actually. I can remember a time when I was not living with my sisters. I was living with my father. I had already started wearing a back brace for my scoliosis. I basically would cry myself to sleep every night. So now, years later, I have definitely been experiencing pain, chronic illness. I've told you I have scoliosis, deterioration that was created from my old fusion, other surgeries on my back to revise my fusion, and I recently had neck surgery. I think my body is trying to speak up now after all those years of stuffing down all those big feelings, not knowing what else to do with them. I honestly feel that this is how they find their way out. And no, I don't think it always has to be a big giant illness. It doesn't always have to be severe scoliosis or complex regional pain syndrome, which I was diagnosed with, or another diagnosis, fibromyalgia and chronic Lyme disease. For so long, I thought that something must be wrong with me. I must be susceptible to all these painful illnesses, and that's just the way it is. But now I see my body was holding those emotions that my younger self could not process. Are you repressing emotions? Well, these are just a few subtle signs that you could possibly be repressing emotions. You never get angry, even when someone crosses a boundary. You're always the strong one, but inside, you feel tired and unseen. You take care of everyone else, but feel resentful and burnt out. You struggle with unexplained chronic pain, fatigue, or digestive issues. These are not personality flaws. They're clues. Many of us have learned to survive. They're hints that your body might be doing the emotional work for you by avoiding confrontation, staying silent, or hiding our pain. But we all know that doesn't mean that the feelings are going away or they disappeared. It just means they've gone deeper into the body. And that's why awareness is so important. It brings the unseen into the light. The inner conflict and tyranny of the should. Section 5. Psychoanalyst Karen Horney called it the tyranny of the should. This is when we're constantly thinking, I should be working more. I should be more productive. I should be a better parent. I shouldn't feel this way. There's a war going on inside your body. One part wants to rest, express, cry, be heard. The other says, that's not allowed. Get over it. So what happens? Pain can become the truce. It steps in like a messenger and it says, okay, since you're not listening to what's underneath, I'll speak loud enough to get your attention. And it works. Physical pain often feels more acceptable than emotional pain. So your mind sends the pain to your back, your neck, your gut, anywhere but your heart. Your body is on your side. Section 6, the final section. So here's the reframe that kind of changed it for me. Pain is not punishing you. It's trying to keep you emotionally safe. It thinks it's helping. But once you start to gently acknowledge the repressed emotions, the need for pain lessens. It loses its job and your body begins to let go. It doesn't require force. You don't need to fix yourself, but we do need to listen. Starting with compassion, let your body know that you're open to hearing the message behind the pain. Ask your body, what might I be carrying that I haven't yet expressed? Allow your answer to unfold to you with love. Now that you understand the power behind the pain, I'd like to invite you to a beautiful guided meditation that will be posted shortly after this video. This guided meditation will help you release what is no longer needed. And also don't forget to download your free journal pages. I'll include them below in the description. They're gentle and creative and designed to help you reflect and begin releasing pain in a safe and loving way. If you found this video helpful in any way, feel free to check off a box or write a note below. Sending you so much love. Namaste.